Hello students, how are you? I hope all of you are at your home and safe. Thanks to the technology because of which we have started our teaching learning process. Uh, we'll begin with the 12th standard syllabus from today. Before starting the syllabus, I just want to show you what is exactly the syllabus available now we have for the 12th standard information technology. uh, Textbooks, PDF of different textbooks are available on eBalbharti. I hope all you would have downloaded it. If not, go to the eBalbharti website and download the PDF. I have downloaded it. This is the PDF of Information Technology Stream Science. First, I want to show you the syllabus of 12th Information Technology for Science. This is a PDF. Hard copy is also available nowadays in market. If possible, you can buy it. If not, just go through the PDF right now. Now, this is our index, which is very important for this year. See here, there are 6 chapters. First chapter is Advanced Web Designing. Second one is Introduction to SEO, that is Search Engine Optimization. Third one is Advanced JavaScript. Fourth one is Emerging Technology, Server-Side Scripting, and last one is E-commerce and E-governance. So first chapter is Advanced Web Designing, in which we have to study the advanced HTML tags. In 11th, we already studied the different basic tags of HTML5. This year, we have to study some advanced HTML5 tags, its attributes, and different facilities available in HTML5 to design the different websites. Second chapter here is Introduction to SEO. This is very simple, short chapter. Search engine optimization. It means search engine optimization is what? Once you design the website, we have to check it through the different browsers. We have to find out its advantages, disadvantages, its limitations. For that, the tools are available on internet, which is included there into the second chapter. Third one is Advanced JavaScript, which is related to a client-side scripting. In 11th, we studied some basic things of JavaScript. This year, we explore some new things for the Advanced JavaScript. Fourth one is Emerging Technology. We observe that around us, there are different technologies available today. So you may heard these words IoT, cloud computing, AI, 5G. That terms we have to studied in this chapter. In short, IoT here stands for Internet of Things, cloud computing, AI for artificial intelligence, and some machine learning concepts are there. That is also good. You are very lucky. These are very new techniques and technologies, and that are included in our syllabus. Fifth one is a server-side scripting. In JavaScript, we studied the client-side scripting, and in fifth chapter, server-side scripting, we studied there a server-side PHP language, which is one of the scripting language for the server-side purpose. And last chapter is e-commerce and e-governance. Nowadays, we buy different things online, and different online websites. Shopping carts are available, and how this is available, what type of steps are there, that are included into the 6th chapter. This is our syllabus for the 12th standard. Then second thing here is a SOP, that is called as skill oriented practicals. Now we have 3 topics here for the practicals. First one is Advanced Web Designing, second one is JavaScript, and third one is PHP, from which we have to do minimum 12 assignments, 12 practicals. This is about the syllabus. This is a PDF file, means actually your textbook. Now let me start with the first chapter, Advanced Web Designing. For that, I have prepared some slides. I just want to show you. Okay, now let us start with the first chapter, Advanced Web Designing. Before starting the first chapter, we have to revise some things that are included in 11th, that we have studied in 11th. So we require some revision. HTML stands for what? Hypertext Markup Language, which is used to design the web pages. So basic tags in HTML I just want to recall you so that we have some revision for that. HTML tag, it stands or it indicates that this is a HTML program. Then head tag, which is for what? Are you remember? Are you getting this? Head tag is for what? Heading purpose. Then when you want to give some title for your web page, then title tag is there. B for bold, I for italic, U for underline, SUP for superscript, SUB for subscript. Means here when you want to display a raised to b, so at that time we use the superscript. When you want to display log to the base 10, then we use the subscript. HR for what? Horizontal ruler, means it display one horizontal line. Different attributes are there for HR tag. This is a revision of 11. Then BR tag is for break the line, DEL to delete the text, mark to display the highlighted text, IMG tag is used to display image on web page, table tag is used to display the table which contains some other subtags, that is TR tag, TD tag, TR for what? Table row, TD for table data. We'll take revision whenever we require the table tag. Then A stands for anchor tag. Anchor tag is used to hyperlink the different web pages, and that is very important because website consists of number of web pages that are interlinked with each other. So anchor tag is also very important. We have href, that is hyperlink reference attribute for anchor tag. Next one is a form tag, and which is also very important, and this we require to start the 12th standard syllabus. So form tag is used to create the forms, any type of form, for example admission form, feedback form, different types of form. Now just recall your previous knowledge. Form contains different form controls. First one is text box, password, radio button, check box, select box, text area means multi-line text box, submit button and reset button. So for the 12th standard syllabus we require these basic things of form tag. So before starting the actual 12th standard syllabus, I just want to show you, or I just want to take the revision of form tag. So just with the instead of just explaining this, I just want to directly demonstrate you the one simple program. So for that we require the Notepad or any text editor. If you are working with Windows, then use Notepad++. If you are working with Linux, use any editor, no problem. Previously I have created one simple program so that we save our time. So this is our actual HTML program. This is Notepad++ application. Now here we have started with this tag. Whatever included here in angular bracket is called as tag, that all of you know. Now this doc type HTML is the first line, which indicates that the flavor of HTML, the version of HTML. Now if you are using the basic HTML, then we just started with the HTML tag. But if you want to include some HTML5 features, then we have to start our program with doc type HTML. So this is the meaning of doc type HTML. Then your structure of program includes the HTML tag, then head tag, title tag. Title tag always included inside the head tag. Okay, so you may give any title. Suppose the title here is what? Use of input tag in HTML5, then end of head tag. This is our basic structure of program. Then we started with the body tag. Then now just observe here, instead of BG color this year we have to use the style tag, style attribute. Why? Because BG color is deprecated for HTML5, so that when you want to set some of the attributes, when you want to set for example background color, then you have to use the style attribute inside the tag. You can use style attribute for any HTML tag. So just observe here, we'll see in CSS topic actually what is the syntax of style attribute or the CSS. CSS means cascading style sheet. We'll see in the next topic CSS. Right now just see here, style equal to, in double quotation mark, background dash or hyphen, color, then colon, and then pink. Okay, in previous year we just we used here bg color equal to pink. Instead of that, from this year you have to use style background hyphen color, then column. Now this background hyphen color is called as property attribute, and pink is the value of that attribute, value of that property, and colon here is the syntax of style attribute. Don't use equal to here, because for CSS we have to follow this syntax. Then next one, we have just started with H1, that all of you know. This is the first level of heading, and we just give some heading, welcome to HTML5. Getting? Then next one, we just want to revise the form tag here, because from this year for HTML5 we have to see the next or the some advanced controls, advanced attributes that are included into the HTML5. So form tag is here. Name is the property attribute of form tag. Suppose name of the form is what? Form1. Then we have just display some label here, text here, enter your name, and to accept the name we want to display the text box there. So for that we have the input tag. Input type is equal to text. This indicates that this is a text box control. It will display the text box control. Then next one is enter your password. So input type is equal to password. So here to accept the password from the user, input type is equal to password. We just use the control as a password. Observe this. The type text also displays the text box. Password also displays the text box. But what is the difference between these two? I just want to execute the program. Just observe here. This we just executed. This is our program. It's loading. Okay, just a minute. And we just refresh the page now. We have take only two controls here. Enter your name, enter your password. It displays two text boxes here. We want a line break here. So after this text box, we want one line break. So include there a BR tag. Now just observe, go to the browser and just refresh it. All of you know how to execute the program. Now there is enter your name. So one text box is available here. So suppose I just enter the name here. Then observe the password text box. Now it hides the content. This is the password control. It looks like the same, but when you enter the data, the password control hides the data from the user. These are the two first control. Okay, now switch to the next control, radio button. Suppose you just want to accept the gender from the user. So instead of enter, suppose select gender. Okay. So how to display the radio buttons? For that also we use the input tag, and type here is what? Type is equal to radio. Are you getting? आठवते सगळ्यांना 11चं? Input type is equal to what? Radio, and the important property here is what? Name. Suppose name of the radio button is what? R1. Then suppose we just want to provide the value here male. Then if you want the line break, you have to use the BR tag. Then input type is equal to again radio, and then name is equal to what? You have to provide the same name, because we want to make the group for the radio buttons. Suppose value is what? Female. And then we want the line break, so we use the BR tag. Just save your program with Control S or file save. Now just observe the output. We just refresh the form. Again we require here what, one line break before the select gender. So before this we have to use here one more BR tag to break the line, right? This is a radio button. When you want to select only one element from the group of the elements, then okay, then we have to use the radio buttons here. Just observe here, it's loading. Okay, switch to the next control, then we'll see the output of both radio button and checkboxes. Next control of form, just observe here, this is a text box, password, radio button. Now we want to display the checkbox, we want to accept data through the checkbox. So now we are going to use the checkboxes. So for that, suppose we use here select your subject. Then to accept the subject from the user, if you want to show the different list of subjects and you want to accept number of subjects from the user, multiple choice options are there. So we use here checkbox and then name is equal to suppose C1. Now here you may provide the different names because at a time we want to accept more than one values. No need to make the groups for the checkboxes. So first subject is suppose for example information technology. Okay. Then next subject. So we just make the copy of it and we just paste it here. Then we change the name of the checkbox and only the subject name. Then suppose for example physics, we just want to see how the checkboxes are displayed there. Break the line so that it will display each and every subject on the next line. So suppose checkbox name is 3 and then next subject is suppose chemistry. Then end of BR. Okay, that much only. If you want to include the more subject, just go through the same procedure. Now we just save the program with Ctrl S. Now we just click the refresh button. Now see, this is for the name, this is for the password, this is for the radio buttons. At a time we can select only one element from the list of elements. Then for subject you may select number of elements. This is for the checkbox. Now go switch to the next point. If you want to accept the address, suppose enter address. For that we use the text area. We already learned this in 11th. We just want some revision only. Suppose text area, then attribute for text area is what? Rows and what? Calls. Suppose calls is equal to 30. Rows here means what? How many number of lines you want for the multi-line text box. So then end of text area, which is very important. It is necessary to end the text area. Now just see here, for this text area we can use placeholder attribute here. Placeholder is equal to, just provide some value, for example enter address. Now I just want to show you how it displays the placeholder. And rows and column is just for to decide number of lines and the size of your text area vertically and horizontally. Just save it and now we just want to refresh it. This is now, just observe here, enter address. This is called as placeholder. When you are going to start entering the address, it disables the background text. This is called as placeholder. Just observe again, refresh. Okay. We close it and we reload the program from our folder. Suppose we double click here. Now see, there is an enter address. Once you started entering, it hides this. This is just for a hint, some information to the user. For that we use the placeholder attribute. Okay. Now which control is remaining now? Select box is remaining. I just copy it. It is available here only. Instead of wasting the time, we just copy it and we just paste it here. Now no need to use the table tags here, so we just remove it. Table tag, see, just observe the select tag. Now when you want to display the select box, then the select tag is used there. So we have started with the select tag, then name of the select tag, select box, that is S1. You may give any name. Then to display the number of options, the option tag is there, and end of option. Between option tag and end of option, you have to include the name of your element, name of your option. So end of option is optional, but it is good programming to include the end of option tag. When we run this, what it will display? Just see here, refresh it. It display the select box, select your city. When we click this, it lists out the number of elements that we have provided in our program. So this is a select box, right? What I just want to show you. Before that, we just display two buttons. Input type is equal to, suppose, submit, to display the submit button. Value is equal to, suppose, submit. Now when you give only the type, automatically it displays the submit query value for the submit button. Then second button, we just want to display input type is equal to what? Reset, to display the reset button. So value is equal to, you may give any value, suppose clear, reset, like this. But meaning of type reset is what? To reset the form. Now we just save it. Now just observe your form, just refresh it. Try to use the BR tags between the two different controls. So we have to include here BR tag, and then after this also we require the BR tag. So save your program again, just refresh your program so that it displays the remaining elements on the next line. So just observe now, we just type something here, suppose name, then password, then we select radio button, then we select subject, then address, and then we just select the city, and we click the submit button. Then data has been submitted, but where it is to be submitted, that we want to study it into the PHP chapter. Right now we are just designing the form. When you click clear button, it clears all the content. This is just a basic things to create the form. Now what we want to study, the different attributes that are very important. For example, required. So what is meaning of required attribute? We have just provided a required attribute for the text box. It means that you must have to enter the value for the text box. Then if you use required attribute or password, it means that it is necessary to enter the password for the user. Without entering, he cannot or she cannot submit the form. Now just refresh it. Without entering name and password, we just select the remaining fields and just observe what happened here. Select city, okay, and just click the submit button. Just observe, this is a required field. This is actually the HTML5 property. Okay, now suppose we enter the name here, and without entering the password, if we click the submit button, then it will display the error message. It is also the required. And now when we click the submit button, now it submits the values. So this is your required attribute. You may give minimum, maximum value for the text box, for the password, that is also there. If you want the address compulsory, here also you may provide the required attribute. That is also important to design the form by using the HTML for you. Okay, now just refresh it. Now without, suppose if you enter the name, and after that if you enter the password, select some fields. Now this is not compulsory. What checkboxes. So without selecting this, if we click the submit button, it just displays the message for the address only. Now when we say, write the address, now when we click the submit button, it submitted the value. So whenever we use the required attribute, then it is compulsory to enter the value. Now just see which one is remaining. I think we cover all the controls. Okay, this is all about the basic HTML5 that we have studied in 11th. Now after this actual HTML5 of 12th standard syllabus we are going to start. But are you getting all about the basic of HTML5 form? Okay. Okay. Now from next session we'll start with the actual 12th standard syllabus. Thank you.